Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I thank the member for Werriwa for moving this motion and for raising some important issues. I would like to acknowledge that the 3rd of December is International Day of People with a Disability, and this is a UN-sanctioned day that aims to increase public awareness, understanding and acceptance of people with disability and celebrate their achievements and contributions. Disability is an umbrella term for impairments, activity limitations and participation restrictions. There are varying degrees of disability, and they can be the result of genetic disorders, illnesses, accidents, ageing, or a combination of factors. People living with disabilities make up a large part of our communities. In 2018, there were over 4 million Australians with a disability, approximately 18% of the population. The prevalence of disability increases with age. 1 in 8 of people aged between 0 to 64 years and 1 in 2 of people aged 65 years or over have a disability. 1 in 3 of all people with a disability have a profound or severe disability. 1 in 5 of all people with disability reported a mental or behavioural disorder as their main condition. This includes intellectual or development disorders, mood affective disorders, dementia or Alzheimer's. International Day of People with a Disability and similar initiatives are vital for raising awareness and understanding in our communities. Like all Australians, people with disability interact with every aspect of Australian life. However, some face challenges routinely in participating in everyday activities. These challenges are affected by the severity of their disability, the availability of services, the accessibility of the environment, and by community attitudes and discrimination. The impact on participation can be evidenced in the following statistics. 1/3 of those aged 15 years and over of people with a disability had completed Year 12. This compares with 62% of people without a disability. 15% of those aged 20 years or over with a disability had completed a bachelor's degree or above. This compares with 31% of those without a disability. Labour force participation. 53.4% of those with a disability compared with 84% of those without a disability. And 32% of adults with a disability self-reported high or very high levels of psychological distress, compared with 8% of people of adults without a disability. In my previous life working in universities, I became acutely aware of some of the issues facing people with physical disabilities. Access to premises, opening of doors, lecture theatre spaces, sound, access to materials in a readable format, sitting for long periods of time, handwriting speeds. I also became aware of footpaths, uneven or not wide enough, no ramps, crosswalk troubles, shopping items on higher levels. I also became aware of the often unintended discrimination experienced by people with a disability. I was told a story of a father who'd been travelling with his then young daughter who was confined to a wheelchair. They were travelling on a plane, and following the safety demonstration, an air host came up to them and told them that in accordance with the rules, she would be the last person off the plane. There may well have been a legitimate reason for this rule, but it was the way it was said and it was the way it was heard. She was the least important person of all on that plane. And in this context, I note data from 2015. 1 in 11 people with disability aged 15 years and over had experienced discrimination in the previous 12 months because of their disability, and 1 in 3 avoided situations because of their disability. These rates are not acceptable. There are many examples in my community of Curtin where people are working together to empower people who are living with a disability. One such example is the Lions Eye Institute, and I recently attended the Lions Eye Institute Sensory Science exhibition, a unique blend of science and art, combining the incredible artistry of legally blind artist Dr. Erica Tandoori and the scientific excellence of Professor Jamie Rostron and Monash Uni's Biomedicine Discovery Institute. It's an absolutely fantastic exhibition that combines science and research in a tactile environment to bring it to more people. We need to continue to develop technologies and more importantly, we need to continue to address our often unknown biases, prejudice and assumptions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.